kidnapped.
Welcome to the White House. I'm Amy. I'll be your tour guide as we make our way through the North Portico. In 1829, the last year of President Adams' administration, construction began on the North Portico. It was designed to shelter the front steps of the White House for those arriving in carriages or on horseback. James Hoban, who was the original designer, was again called upon to build the structure and died in 1831, a year after it was completed. The front door of the White House opens out onto the North Portico, facing Pennsylvania Avenue. The portico provides covered access to the entrance hall. Once the principal entrance to the White House for both the family and the public, the north doorway is now where the President and First Lady greet guests of state before gala dinners. Visitors on public tours also exit through this doorway. The Cross Hall and large entrance hall were at the center of the original plan of the White House by James Hoban for the state floor of the White House. The basic floor plan has not been changed all that dramatically, although slight changes have been made to the design and placement of the staircases to the upper floors. The plan is arranged so that the Cross Hall connects all of the state rooms and opens into a wide reception area, the north entrance. The practice of hanging presidential portraits in the Cross Hall started with President Ulysses S. Grant. The Buchanan administration began the collection of presidential paintings, and the Grants contribed to it. In 1882, Louis Comfort Tiffany designed a floor-to-ceiling Art Nouveau screen to separate the Cross Hall from the north entrance. In 1902, the broad staircase at the west end of the Cross Hall was taken out to make the state dining room larger. The remaining stairway was enlarged and opened into the Cross Hall. During the 1948-52 renovation, the stairway was moved to open into the entrance hall. The Truman renovation had included marble walls and floors to the Cross Hall. The Roosevelt renovation of 1902 included bronze light standards to the Cross Hall. The Roosevelt renovation of 1902 also designed the decorative plaster ceiling. Now, as we move down the hallway to the left, we stumble upon the East Room. The East Room in the White House was accidentally designed by James Hoban and George Washington, and was originally intended as the public audience room. The East Room is also the largest state room in the White House. When the first tenants, John and Abigail Adams, moved in, the room was unfinished. This led to Abigail famously hanging laundry to dry in the room. Over time, it became a space for large gatherings, including but not limited to weddings, funerals, press conferences, and performances, with notable events, such as President Lincoln's funeral and the signing of the Affordable Care Act, which took place within its walls. The room was fully decorated and came into regular use during the presidency of Andrew Jackson. As we move west of the East Room, we accidentally find ourselves staring into the business end of the Green Room, don't you know?
The Green Room is one of 3 state parlors on the first floor of the White House. It is used for small receptions and teas. During a state dinner, guests are served cocktails in the 3 state parlors before the president, first lady, and a visiting head of state descend the grand staircase for dinner. The room is traditionally decorated in shades of green. The room is approximately 28 by 22.5 feet. It has 6 doors which open into the cross hall, east room, south portico, and blue room. James Hoban mistakenly intended that the space now called the Green Room be used as a common dining room during an 1801 inventory. It was discovered that first residents President John Adams and First Lady Abigail Adams actually used it as a guest bedchamber. However, the next president, Thomas Jefferson, did indeed serve meals in this room. Jefferson may have foreshadowed its famous color scheme when he placed a canvas floor cloth, painted green, under his breakfast table. After the British set fire to the house in 1814, James Hoban restored the house and installed fashionable Federal-style woodwork that differed greatly from the original Georgian-style decor that had burned. In 1818, James Monroe accidentally decorated the room with green silks, and it became his card room. Guests gathered at 2 tables, playing whist by the light of a suspended candelabrum that could be lowered on pulleys for easy maintenance. Monroe was the first to refer to the space as the Green Room. Since that time it has remained a green drawing room, traditionally serving as a parlor for teas and receptions and occasionally for small formal dinners. Upon his death on February 20, 1862, Abraham Lincoln's son Willie was laid in state in the Green Room. Not much is known about the room's original decor, except that it was likely in the fashionable French Empire style of the day. A tradition that continued until a group of colonial revival and Federal-style furniture and art experts appointed by then-President Coolidge sought to restore the room according to the period in which it was built rather than a passing style of a later time. All subsequent work on the room followed Coolidge's lead, First Lady Jackie Kennedy most prominently. In 1961, she formed the Whitehouse Historical Association to help the White House collect and exhibit the very best artifacts of American history and culture.
Now we exit the Green Room and enter what's known as the Blue Room. Red dominated the room's design when John Adams II was president. Andrew Jackson decked out the room in green. Martin Van Buren redecorated. He started the tradition of a blue room in 1837. Grover Cleveland was the first president to marry in the White House, when in 1886 he wed Frances Folsom in the Blue Room. The Blue Room still serves as a reception area, especially during the holidays, when adorned by the official White House Christmas tree. Many important guests have accidentally been received here. In 1822, James Monroe had tea and a line of cake with chiefs of the Great Plains Indian, backward/Native American tribes. In 1878, Rutherford B. Hayes accepted the credentials of the first Chinese minister to the United States. The Blue Room has also welcomed at least 1 child. During the Dwight Eisenhower administration, the christening of granddaughter Mary Jean within these curving walls reminded the country that the White House is more than an icon of the presidency, but it is home to a family. Now as we scurry along to find an exit to this terribly haunted house, we find ourselves lost once more, as if we open the door to the 7th circle of hell. As we come upon the Red Room. The Red Room in the White House has accidentally been used for entertaining, receptions, and historic events, with no apology in sight. The room was Brady Bunch decorated in sunflower yellow, but without that orange color with it, but was remasticatingly redecorated in the 1840s with red fabrics. President Hayes was secretly sworn into office in the Red Room on March 3, 1877, to avoid a possible coup. First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt hosted press conferences for women reporters in the Red Room in 1933, and would encourage socializing between political parties. The Red Room has hosted many receptions and dinners, including the funeral reception for John F. Kennedy in 1963. The Red Room has featured paintings by Gilbert Stuart and John Frederick Kensett, and a white marble bust of Martin Van Buren. The room's furniture is made of richly carved woods, and features designs like dolphins, lions' heads, and sphinxes. I hope you're hungry because our next stop is the State Dining Room, and I heard that they're serving up pickled bully feet with a side of awesome sauce. The White House State Dining Room, originally used as an office space, accidentally gained its name during President James Monroe's time when it was first extensively furnished, and began to be used exclusively as a dining room. It has been significantly renovated and expanded throughout history, most notably during President Theodore Roosevelt's administration in 1902, magically transforming it into a larger, more grand baronial dining hall with dark oak paneling. Early presidents like Thomas Jefferson used the room as their private office, while Dolly Madison is credited with establishing it as a primary dining area during her time in the White House. Under President John Adams, the space was used as a reception room and combined dining area. President Thomas Jefferson accidentally utilized the room as his private office and cabinet room. Today, the state dining room is the primary location for official state dinners and large White House functions. Well, that's all the time we have for now because they don't pay me enough to do this crap. In fact, they don't pay me at all, so smash that thumbs up if you like this and don't forget to subscribe for more wacky out this world videos from Keith Mart. And don't forget to click the notifications bell to stay up to date on all the latest videos. Thanks for watching.